What's up guys, today I'm going to show you how to install a rear camber kit on a Honda Civic. This is a fairly simple install. These are the ones I got. They are God Snow or God Snow, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it, but these are the best that you can get for the money. If you haven't gotten your camber kit yet, I'll link this in the description. You just want anything really with poly bushings because it's going to last longer and they're very easily replaceable and greasable. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how this install goes. It's fairly straightforward, pretty easy install as long as nothing's seized, although I'll go over that as well just in case. But the first thing that you want to do with these is grease them up. You want to use something not petroleum based, so I usually use brake grease because it's silicone based. That's probably what I'm going to end up using again here. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. What you have to do is use like a 14mm socket, put it on here and hammer the centerpiece out and then pull both bushings off. I'll show you how to do that. And then on this side, you just have to undo the snap ring and then hammer the centerpiece out. And I'll show you how to do that as well. So for this side, it's fairly easy. Like I said, you're just going to take a 14mm socket and put it on there, and then just take your hammer and hammer it out. Once you have that centerpiece out, you should just be able to pop each one of these bushings off. You might have to twist them a little bit, but they should come out fairly easy. If you have to, you can use like a screwdriver or something to help pop them out. Alright, so that side's out. The next thing that we got to do is take off one of these snap rings and pop the other side out. Okay, and now all the bushings are out. What you want to do is just take your bushing. You see they got these grooves in them. You just want to pack those grooves full of grease and then reassemble everything. Any extra grease you can just rub around the outside there. And that's all you got to do for this. So I'm going to go ahead and grease these all up now.
Light it up, light it up, light it up.
Okay, so now that each one is greased up, what you want to do is just put everything back together. One thing to keep in mind is one of the sides of this has reverse threads. The side that has reverse threads goes towards the inside of the car. So this is what goes through the side that has the reverse threads, and then this piece goes to the side that has the regular threads. So we can take a look at this and see just by turning it, this turns right to loosen, which means this is the side with reverse threads. So this piece has to go in that side. Now one thing that you do want to do is find a socket that goes around this right here so that it can hammer the snap ring down as well as hammer this all back into place. And the socket that I found that fits is a 3/4 12-point socket. Fits perfect. The next side is actually much easier. Okay, I flipped this centerpiece around because I realized that I put it in backwards. The slotted part's supposed to be on the right side, at least on this one. I don't actually know if that's how it's supposed to be. That's just how this one was, and it should work either way. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to unthread each one of these and put anti-seize on the threads all the way into here. If you don't do this, I believe this is aluminum and this is steel, so they will weld themselves together unless you're like adjusting it like every few months. it will get seized if you don't do this. So make sure you get some anti-seize, put it on the threads, and you should be good to go. Alright, so this one is completely done. We're going to go ahead and repeat the process on the other side. Alright, so next we're going to install them. The first thing that you want to do is just jack up your car and take the rear wheels off. Alright, so here's the old ones. Obviously yours won't look like this if you're stock, but if you have aftermarket ones, this is what it will look like. This one's completely seized, that's why I'm replacing it. The other side, I got it unseized, but the threads came out with it. Now it's completely stripped and I can't drive the car. So better off just to replace them if they get seized. They're very cheap. Like I said, I'll link it in the description so you can get yourself some if you'd like. These are about 2 years old, I think, and they're seized. So I mean, like if I didn't need to adjust them, they'd be fine. The bushings are still good. I just greased them again recently. And that was just because I had them out. They didn't even really need to be greased. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out. Normally you will have a 14 here and 2 14s there, and then this will come out. Mine, I've had to replace this bolt, so this is a 17, I believe, for me. If yours are seized, which is very common, what you will want to do is just heat up this piece right here with some MAP gas and then put some candle wax, like a candle on here, and let the wax soak in. That will break this loose, and then start backing it out. And you'll know if it's seized in the bushing if these, like this plate right here and this plate, start separating and it just seems like to not be loosening very easily. If that happens, then it's seized in the bushing, and you will have to either take an angle grinder or a Sawzall and cut on this side and cut on this side. This piece will just pop out really easily. Whatever's left on this side, you may have to like grab with vice grips and turn it, and you should be able to back this chunk out this way. Just make sure that you break it loose from here, you know, at least try to loosen it before you start cutting, otherwise you'll be screwed. But anyway, that's how you get this out. Then obviously you would just need to go to the store and get another bolt. You don't have to worry about the part that's stuck in here because you're not going to be reusing this one that's on here right now. And these, I have never seen these be seized, so you should have no problem getting those out. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out and put the new one in, but I'll compare them before I put the new one in. Now what I've done really quick is I've tightened these both in so that there's an even amount of threads on both sides, and I've made it as tight as it goes. And I do know that this bottom one did have to be tighter than what it's already set at, so I might actually have to take these out and cut a little bit of the threads off of both of these sides just so it can go in a little bit more. But first, I have it as tight as it can go right now. I'm just going to go ahead and put it in, and I'm going to check my camber after I go ahead and install this. For you, what you're going to want to do is you're probably not stanced. I mean, if you are, then you might have to do the same kind of thing as me. But if you're just using these for camber adjustment like a normal person, what you're going to want to do is just install these, try to make them the same length as the ones that you took out or really close, and then you're just going to want to eyeball it and make adjustments to it as you need to, and then you're going to have to get an alignment after just to make sure your toe is all good still. One thing that I did notice is the other one had the sliding part like this on the left side, just like I'm installing this one. I don't know if that's actually correct. I don't think it really matters because I put the other one up here and the holes still line up, so I don't really think it matters, but that's how I'm going to install it. So I'm just going to go ahead and install this in the reverse order that we took the other one out. Another thing that's probably a good idea is definitely at least put anti-seize on the center of this bolt right here, this section. That way it doesn't get seized inside of this bushing. You can also put some on the threads of all of them, but the threads don't usually end up getting seized, so it's up to you whether or not you want to do that. Okay, so it's pretty close, but it does need a little bit more camber so that this sits on the lip. I mean that camber arm's maxed out. I'm sure you can get camber arms that have like more camber than that. I could take off these, but really there is a few threads for me to cut off. So I'm gonna take that back off and cut those threads off and then show you the result. But this alone is proof that Integra rear offset is different than Honda Civic, because I had Honda Civic trailing arms on here and those were good as is. My fitment was perfect. Then I put the trailing arms on and it pushed the wheels out just a little bit, maybe like 5 millimeters, I would guess. And then I had to adjust them. Obviously they were seized, so I couldn't adjust them. I bought new ones, adjusted them in as far as they would go, and it's still not enough. So that's proof. That alone right there is proof that Integras have a different offset than Civics, which I did not know. And I have a feeling if you asked other people that, they would say the answer is no, but the answer is definitely yes. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pop that off, cut those threads off, put it back on. I'm not going to show any of that, but I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, so as you can see, I did have to cut it down quite a bit. So what I did is I cut a 1/4 inch off each side of the centerpiece, making it that much shorter. And then I did cut the same amount or close enough off of the threads for each half here. So I was able to get it this much shorter, which should be perfect for what I need. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on. Alright guys, so here's the Civic with the rear camber arms in and the camber all set. Oh, there's the FRS, say hi to the FRS. But anyway, so if we come back here, you can see the camber's all good now. I don't have tire shine on here, so that's why there's a little bit of gap there. Also, it's a little crooked on the driveway, but I promise you that one is set correctly. And then this one is sitting on the wheel like it's supposed to. So yeah, I didn't have to cut as much off of this one as I did, but there wasn't too much to work with. I cut a little bit less off of this one. I think I did 1/8 of an inch instead of 1/4 of an inch or something similar, and it left me with almost, actually pretty much no adjustment. This one I think is maxed out or very close. This one has a little bit of adjustment, but either way, the camber is perfect now. And I would say I can go ahead and drive this thing around, but it's smoking so much. I just got to build the other motor and get this done so I can start taking it to shows again. In the meantime, I have the FRS. But yeah, that thing looks awesome, and I really miss driving it around. I can't wait till it makes a whole ton of power. But guys, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. More to come in the future. Make sure that you like and subscribe. If you don't get that many videos over the next few weeks, it's because my schedule is super busy, so I apologize. But thank you so much for watching. Peace out.